Today I am bringing you a beautiful stamp. It's called the Inked Floret. It is a feature stamp. It is one of those great big, it takes up so much space on your card. It's fun. I've done a few fun things with it. If you check back through my Facebook posts, you might see where I was asking you which colours you prefer. Today I'm going to use our current ink colours. I'm thinking I might hang out with Timid Tiger for a little bit and we'll see how we go. So let me show you this stamp. If I just pull this down here, I've also brought over Exciting Times because Exciting Times I am finding a very great go-to stamp set because it's got sentiments for essentially for everything. All right, so this is Inked Floret and it is exactly that size. It takes up a lot of real estate on our card and it is one of those pieces that is quite stunning. I don't think the samples that are on the Stampin' Up homepage really do it justice. So let's have a play. Now this is the first time I've used this one. I had actually not bought it and I borrowed a friend, so I and I encourage you to do that. Like, borrow a stamp if you're not sure if you're going to like it and you think I might just have a bit of I really would like to have a bit of a play. Go to a class, go to a group crop or something like that, just where you can try a few different things out and see what, you know, if there's something else that you actually like, that you're not real sure that you really need to own or whatever. Now you will need block, this one here is block F. It is a whopper. You will need block F for this stamp. This stamp looks fabulous stamped in Secret C and then coloured in. Like I said, it's quite a dynamic one. It just does amazing things. So I'm actually going to do a couple of different things with it today because the girls that were here at class saw me do some paper toweling with it. And yeah, it's just such a nice stamp. So to do, I bought why is there so much water on my, I don't want water on the table. To do what I bought over some Secret C. I've got Secret C ink, I've got Mossy Meadow. Secret C is just, I'm finding a really nice base at the moment. You know, it's like anything, your colours. I have my favourite colours. That's today's favourite colours, but you know, it's one of those things. Secret C base. Told you I was going to bring over some Timid Tiger. Why Timid Tiger? Well, you know what? Just because I like it. And what I was thinking of doing is that's just going to be like a frame. Okay. I didn't bring any more over, so I might need to steal a little bit of that. This is just the punch that goes with Exciting Times. So I'm just going to steal some of this. Why am I stealing it from there? Because I thought I'd bought over enough, but I didn't. So that piece is just going to get stuck straight on. And I'm going to do it now just so that it's done. This is just my regular size frame, if you want to, or mat, whatever you want to call it. It is essentially 1/2 centimetre smaller on all sides. Okay. Now the beauty about doing a Secret C base is no one's going to be able to see that those pieces are missing. Okay, even if I have the white background, so when I put my white background over the top, you cannot tell. And yes, I am going to play with white. All right, so what I was thinking, this is such a nice big clustery stamp, and I think it would make, like, it takes up the whole space. There's a couple of ways you can do it, and if you want to do some extra leaves, this is how we're going to do them. So first up, I'm going to stamp this whole thing in Mossy Meadow. Okay, could use Peaceful Pine, that is an in colour. Mossy Meadows not. However, I think that our Timid Tiger and Darling Duckling go beautifully with Mossy Meadow. Now you will not find green edges on your flowers at all. So our flowers are going to have to be popped up. All right. That is the way I like to stamp big stamps. And I am going to make it relatively straight, for want of a better word. Now, if you haven't got a glass mat, you will need, for this stamp, you will need a piecing mat, because otherwise your leaves are not going to come out for you, like so. If you do something like that, you've got a couple of options. You can turn it over. The flowers don't matter, but this leaf does. All right? And the reason why the flowers don't matter is because that's actually going to cut them again. Let's start from scratch. All right, well, that didn't go to plan. Turn it over. There's two sides to every piece of cardstock. Everything happens to the best of us. I'm going to make it a bit straight again. I'm standing up this time, and I'm going to really push on it. All right, just give it the opportunity for the whole of that stamp to do its thing. Now, if this doesn't work, you won't know about that, because I'll turn this off and I'll delete this video and I'll start again. Doesn't matter. It's annoying, but it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because I'm actually going to do some things up there different, but my leaves worked. This one, I needed my leaves to work. I needed these to work. Right, so you can go up to the side up there, because here I have another piece, all right, and I want some more leaves. So I'm just putting ink just on leaves, and I'm actually going to fussy cut these guys out. So these guys have to work. All right, leaves. All right, and I might do, yep, I'm going to do another couple just so that I've got them. Give it a nice, really firm push, because it's a really big stamp. Oh, seriously? Let's see if I can get that one. Now, if you've got a blender pen, Courtney shouldn't be talking while she's doing this. I reckon I can make that work. If you've got a blender pen, I could have just coloured that in. All right. Some things I can make work, some things I can't. Okay. And you know what? I can make that work. So let's cut out some leaves. Leaf. Leaf. My scissors are getting all in my way. Use another leaf. Here's that dodgy leaf, but you know what? It's okay. So it's up to you whether you cut them out straight out with no edge, or whether you leave that little white edge around them. The choice is yours. The beauty about it being a nice big stamp, and where I'm about to put them, I don't need the white edge around them. If you were trying to go like a die, then you would put that white edge around it. Just let the paper do the moving rather than the scissors. Okay. And so this stamp set is a $35 stamp set. Great value, but you will need a sentiment stamp set to go with it. And any sentiment stamp set will work. All right, just saying. So depending on what you want, or if you want to send a birthday card, you're going to need a sentiment stamp set that has the happy birthday on it, aren't you? But because it doesn't have any sentiments with it, you will need something to put on it. And I don't know about you, a lot of people will often leave sentiments off cards that as they're making them, and then just add them as they need them. So depending on what they need will depend on what sentiment they put on it. So which I've always thought is actually quite a good idea. And just around. And up there. So I'm just going around this outer edge. And you just don't want to leave any white on it, essentially. All right. I'll come back and get those other ones if I decide I need them. But what I do need is some flowers. And I've chosen Timid Tiger tonight. I was looking, it looks, I couldn't decide what sort of flower it is. It's quite a stylized flower. Google was not helping me in any way, shape or form to tell me what sort of flower we were playing with. So I was looking up the different colours of poppies. And let me tell you, there's heaps. If you're a floral buff, which I know some of you are, you will know that there's heaps and heaps of different colour poppies. Make sure your stamp is nice and clean before you go sticking it in a paler colour. We don't want any green in there. Okay, so let's stick. Oh, I brought over the Stampin' Blends. So these are all available in Stampin' Blends as well, these colours. So I brought them over too. I just, all right. Pretty sure I have got the whole flower. I do. Okay. So I'll just give that a bit of a wipe over there. So I'm actually going to cut this out, and I'm going to stick it on top of those flowers. So that the reason why I've done this is so that I can have my flower petals the colour I actually want them. Now you could use your blending brush on these just to colour them so that they're a little bit pale. You could use the Stampin' Blends like we're going to, and I'm pretty sure I saw a poppy this colour. Now, I don't necessarily want to see that green at the background, but it's going to give me like a shadow effect. And one of the good things about that is when it gives me that shadow effect, get in there, nice tight little corner there. When it gives me that shadow effect, it actually adds depth to my card. But you can see I'm not cutting it that close. There is a method in my madness. Right, it doesn't need to be perfect. Good, we want it nice, but it doesn't need to be exceptionally perfect. And look at that. All right, so now we've got a beautiful Timid Tiger flower. And now you can see why it doesn't matter that we've got Dodgy Brothers over here with this particular flower, because it's going to come around and we don't need to be able to see underneath there anyway. These flowers the petals on this are really good if you want to cut multiple stamp and then cut multiple of them, so that you can add extra dimension. It just depends on how you want to play, essentially how you want to play it. If you want a really lots and lots of dimension on your card, you can add it with these petals. Like there's 2, 4, 6, 8 or so petals in there that could have a bit of, you could have a bit of a fun play with. All right. Now, what I didn't bring over with me is the white pen. I should just keep it on my table, shouldn't I? And you'll see that this guy is going to sit on there very nicely. Hide that dodgy bit, and look at that. How can you see how we can change those colors quite quickly? And then because we can add an extra leaf under here. So you can add leaves to wherever you decide that you would like them. All right. So there's lots of different play. You can actually make it be quite, what's the right word for it? A lot more full than what it actually already is. Okay. So let's have a, but these guys need some color. So I brought over, I've got the whole family, but I'm thinking that we're going to go with some darling duckling and some timid tiger. Now, when I was looking up the colours of poppies, I was having a bit of a, this one's the light. I was thinking how nice some of them in particular looked. Those ones that had the yellow centres. This is the dark darling duckling. All right. Those ones that had the yellow centres that then had the orange tips, and they were just fabulous. All right. Okay. And you'll be able to see once this ink has dried, you'll be able to see all those little lines through it. Now, use a bit of light. I'm thinking the light's going to be better. Yeah. Yeah, the light's better. Look at that. Give that a nice colour. Now, see how I've got that inside there? Which one of these is the light? I'm actually going to send it and blend those two bits there together, because what it will do is it will actually just meld them a bit together. Okay. What you can do is do a little bits of highlights, because nothing in the floral world is perfect. But what I have noticed is that on these flowers, the insides are the brighter of the two. Okay. And then that guy is just going to sit on there like so. Oh, a bit fuzzy. All right, this little one here, we're going to do it in pale because it's a smaller flower. I'm just going to give it a good once over, do the whole flower. I'm going to leave a little bit of white in that middle bit because I want to make it quite yellow. And that's the light, so I'll just go into that, push it up there into that timid tiger area. I might put a little bit of the yellow down here. That's our darling duckling. All right. And then it's a matter of working out where we'd like our extra leaves to sit. Now, extra leaves can sit anywhere from the back because they're actually not from that particular flower. They're from the cluster that's at the back. All right. So they're from the flowers behind these guys. So you could actually make it so that if you wanted to, just say we didn't have that whole card, right? Pretend that's not there, and we wanted to make a cluster of flowers, we could do this sort of thing with them as well. Okay, just build them up in that respect. But we're doing this today. Now, and because of the way I've done it, I'm thinking that I am going to, do you want me to show you? Look, if you leave them green, right, it still looks really good, even if they've got that green on them. Okay, so you can colour them in just as is. We're not, but I'm just sort of showing you that even with that old olive outline, they still look pretty fabulous. Okay. All right, so these are quite pretty. They're just something to have a play, and you can come in with this one. Here's the dark. You can come in with the dark around those edges if you would like to. All right. So it just depends on what you want to do. Okay. So you can essentially you can trace this stamped area. Just to give it a little bit more of a pronounced feature. With your dark on the bullet end. All right. Just because when I ran over it with all those lights, it sort of disappeared into itself a bit. Okay, let's see this one here. And there's a bit around this edge here. Just to make it that little bit darker. A bit like no line watercolouring, it sort of gives you that effect. All right, do you see what I mean? Just make those lines a little bit more pronounced. And you'd have to do, if you wanted it to be like this, you have to go in afterwards, because as you use that lighter blending pen, it pushes the colour to the back. Okay, so it pushes the darker colour to the back. That's its job. All right. Just experiment with it. It's essentially what I do a lot of. Alrighty. And just make those flowers look pretty. Bullet tip ends. Give it some more dots. A bit more yellow in there. Now, to add this to your card, there's a couple of different things that you can do. What I will do before I go adding anything else, I actually want to put a little bit of colour in that background and blend it. Now, I just need a blending brush that doesn't have pink on it. Oh my gosh, they're really, I have to be really stretchy here. Here's one that's got a green on it. Let's see what colour green we've got here. Start with one on the back. Oh yeah, that'll do me. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit of a green highlight around the back of my plant. Oh, drats. I'm just giving myself a bit of a green fingerprint. Okay. So that's just with our mossy meadow. You could use any colour you like. Pale blue looks really nice. So it looks like sky. Okay. And with these guys, I'm just going to stick them on a dimensional as well as with blue. So often what I'll do is if I've got a flower or I want to add a bit of texture, I don't just use dimensionals. I will use a combination of both. So I'm going to put the dimensionals all up around my top. Oh, let's put one in here. And then I'm going to put my glue. And I'm sure if you've watched my videos before, because you've hit that subscribe and you've been notified that I'm live, you will know that I do this on a regular basis. So what it does is I put the glue down the bottom and it lifts the top of the flower up, but not the bottom. So it will sit, it's going to sit up higher, up there. Oh, I'm off a little bit. Let's turn it around this way, see if I can get it on better. Because I want it to hide most of that old olive, but not all of it. So by pushing it on here, that bit there sitting flat against where it actually joins onto my flower stem. But you'll notice that I've got that edge. And having that green, dark green under there, it gives it like a shadow, which is quite a nice effect, if I do say so. This guy's not going to have it, of course, because of that dodgy stamping, but that's all right. We're going to do the same thing with this little fellow. We'll put a dimensional up here and one up here. And then we're going to put some glue down that bottom. You may need to force that glue into submission for a little bit whilst it is drying. But if you're using the glue, the Tombow glue, once it's dry, it is well and truly stuck. Okay, so again, I'm just going to push that down here just so that it can do that. Now, just because I've got these, I can add extra leaves wherever I would like them to go. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to up them like so, just so it looks like they're a bit full of leaf. Okay, you can put a little, because we were using the green blending, we can put a little bit in here, just so it's not so white. Same deal. Just so it's not so white in there. Okay. You can stick it straight on top. You can double it up so that there's a thicker bunch of leaves. The choice is yours. Now, what we'll do is we won't actually put that straight on because we've got both of those leaves there. All right. We're going to do our sentiment first so that we can work out what we're going to do with it. So this is Exciting Times. It goes with that cool punch you just saw me use a minute ago. I just need a smaller block. I used all my blocks on the weekend, so I've only got some bigger blocks. Let's use this one. Just drop it on your table. The reason why we're dropping it on the table is so that it finds its own space. I think I've got enough room left here. Let me see. Oh, it's sweet. All right. And today, because I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll use a Mossy Meadow Sentiment. Let's go with a Timid Tiger frame. Oh no, because I'm using the Timid Tiger on the background. So let's do the Mossy Meadow in this bit. Right, because remember we punched those other ones out at the beginning. Pretty cool that, isn't it? I love how it draws your eye in. Alrighty, let's put that back where it belongs, which is around that sentiment. And this is going to be a birthday card, so we're just going to pull out the happy birthday. And we're going to do that one in Timid Tiger. You could do it in Darling Duckling as well if you wanted to. Choice is yours. But we're going to go with Timid Tiger. And hold your tongue in the right position. Just stamp it down. Such an easy, nice stamp. Gives you really good, I don't know, good bang for your buck. It's not really what I wanted to say. It gives you a great outcome for a lot of wow for a little bit of effort. Now, somewhere on the table, I put 2 little rectangles that I stole from here of our Timid Tiger. There they are. Okay. If you would like it to cover the whole way round, you're going to have to use your fingers. You're going to have to put it on something and you're going to have to snip around it. If you're okay with it not going the whole way round and just going little bits of the way round or up the top and up the bottom, then you can just snip, okay? If you just want it at the top and the bottom, you can cut it in half, which is exactly what I'm going to do, and I'll save that guy for later on. All right, not that one. I don't want to cut that one in half. You can use your trimmer or you can just use your scissors. All right. Let's put it on dimensionals. What do you reckon? We can have some more dimension here. All right. Now, there is a bit of a trick, and that is I want the same amount at the top as I do at the bottom, so I'm going to use my mat. Line that one up. And then I'm going to do the same down here. And using my mat, I'm going to line that one up. And then I have a really cool sentiment, and now I know where I'm going to put those leaves. All right, so let's start putting it together. And you see how it's stuck down here quite nicely, and those guys are sticking up, so that gives you that little bit of a shadow around it. If you want to add some ribbon or anything like that, go right ahead. We'll just hide this bit here. Nobody is going to know that that's what happened on the back, because there's 2 pieces of cardstock, 2 sides to every piece of paper. If you wanted to add some ribbon that needed to go around your card, I love the fact that wet glue is slippery, so it gives you the opportunity to get everything in the right spot. Let's work out where we're going to put this guy. Okay, it could actually just go quite nicely there. It would look good with some ribbon on either side. It will also look good with just a swirl of baker's twine, something like that. Now this, I wonder if this will work. This ribbon is on special. It's on clearance at the moment. If you would like to grab some, you can. It's got like a gold fleck through it. It just adds a bit of wow. It looks really pretty. Maybe you want to add, and it's Mossy Meadow, so it's a great color combination with our card. All right, so it works very nicely, as you can see. But I have a tendency, I've been, this guy's from the basics pack, and I've just been having a tendency to like playing with it. So yeah, it's all wholly and solely up to you. I think it loops really nicely. It does. If you wanted to color it, you can color it with some a blending brush and some ink. It's just one of those things. It just sort of, I don't know, it just adds to it. So let's do this now. Where is, here it is, piece of tape. Okay. Yeah. This is one way to do it. Then there's, you know, it's up to you, but there's lots of different ways to add ribbon, and it just depends on how you want them, how you want to see it. All right. So whether you make great big loops and you just shove it on, or whether you, like, I don't know, place it in a loopy sort of manner without, yeah, depending on, yeah, it just depends on how you want to do it. And yeah, like so. Whoop. Head back over here. You can put more tape over the top of it if you want, but you don't need to. Now, this guy is going to straddle it. And what I suggest what I would be suggesting that we're doing is we're going to add some dimensionals under here. We've got this little gappy bit there. We're going to ignore it, but we're going to put the dimensionals relatively close to it. Okay, and up the top there. And then this one here is got to go right down here, so that we can sort of manipulate it, because we don't want dimensionals sitting on the twine. It just gets in the way. All right. Now we do want to add our other leaves as well. Well, I'm going to add other leaves because, as you can see, we've lost a whole leaf there. Oopsie. I might put it up here. Nope. No, 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 no. It's got to go on this side. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to glue this guy on here. I'm actually going to put it on flat. If you want it to pop up a little bit, you can put it on flat over here like so. And then you can put a dimensional, like you've done all the others, underneath that part. You will need to take the top of it off so that it sticks. Okay. All right, let's add this guy on. And like I said before, the main aim of the game is that it doesn't end up with them. We don't want dimensional sitting on any bits of our twine, for a better way of putting it. Well, make sure it's straight, guys. You will notice if it's not. Ew, that's not straight. And that leaf up there is not adhered, but you know, hey, it's rather handy at the moment because at the moment it's just been, it's stuck down with a dimensional. Made it so that I could tweak it. So I'll just stick some glue under there. Okay, these things can need some bling now. All right, I brought over with me, because I haven't used them yet, but you know, I've had to have them, these pretties, which are the Sunset Sparkle sequins, and both of these go quite nicely. It doesn't tell us what colours they are, but you know what, I just looked at them and thought, oh yes, they'll work. So I can tell you what colours they are if I actually look them up. And Sunset sequins, Sunset Sparkle sequins, currently in Australia $15, and they're from the Beautiful Scenic Coast suite. And does it tell? Yep. We've got Cloud Cover, Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, and Clear. Okay. Rightio. I don't know which one's a strawberry slush. Oh, they're probably strawberry slush over there. Oh, okay, yep, it's easier to tell from the back. So these guys are the Timid Tiger. We're going to use them. And we'll just put two up here. And we'll put one down here. Everything looks better with a sequin on it, if I do say so. Okay. Haven't done the inside. Oh my gosh, look what I did. All right, who's done that before? Far out, Brussels sprout. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, how do we fix this? All right, well, a couple of ways we can fix this. Because it's not going to pull off. All right, and it doesn't make a very nice inside of the card. Okay. One should not be doing pre-taping videos when it's very, very late. We chop off the front and we use this card front and attach it to another one. So we go over to the other side. Here's one I prepared earlier, and we do a double front. Can't believe I did that. I normally check. Has anyone else done it? Please tell me someone else has done it. And then we can just stick it straight on. Makes it nice and thick, that card front. And if you would like to, you can pop it on, but I think we'll just stick it straight on. If I really would prefer to cut that off, to tell you the honest truth. Let me just, I'm just gently prizing it from, yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to cut all of that secrecy off because I can. I can't cut it off with a trimmer. How annoying. I can only use my scissors. So right. Can't believe I did that. It's not the first time I've done it, but so what I'm doing is I'm just going along and I'm cutting it so that it's smaller than the Timid Tiger. I've got my scissors, the points shoved underneath the edge of the Timid Tiger. It doesn't have to be straight because no one's going to see it. I can't believe I did that. Well, actually, yeah, I can. So if you haven't guessed, this video is pre-recorded for you because I didn't want you to miss a Hooray, it's Thursday. So I'm actually a figment of your imagination because I'm sitting beside a pool in Fiji at the minute. Just saying. But, yeah. So we're going live on Thursday. but I will have already left country. And yeah. Okay, so I've just looked under here and all of that is sitting on ribbon or twine, and I'm just about to move it because it's not sticking very well, because the twine's actually stuck to it and it's taking up all its adhesive feature, and it's not going to let it stick to the paper, because let me tell you, dimensionals stick better to paper than they do to anything else. Right, see, it's not very neat, but make sure you put the glue right to the edge so nobody's going to be able to know. Yep. Can't believe I did that. It's going to feel like a high quality card because it's going to be nice and sturdy. Now, it opens like that, yep. And this piece here is going to stick on there, beautiful. Where is your top corner? Oh, there. Silly Billy. Silly, silly, silly. That's okay. All right, we've got our extra leaves. Still got 2 extra leaves. If you wanted to add more leaves, you could. Oh. You know, nope. I really want to. No, I don't. So, I really want to add another one here. No, I don't. All right. Envelope and a card's middle. For our envelope and for our middle, you could just put leaves on here, which would look exceptionally beautiful, or you could put the flower, and I am going to put just the flower, and I'm going to put just the outline of the flower, this main one. Make sure I've got my envelope up the right way. Oops. Because look at that, that just looks quite amazing. And I'm going to do the same for my inside piece, but I'm going to have it on the opposite side to the envelope. All right. They almost look like hibiscuses there. All right, let's give that a clean. Close that up before I stick an elbow or something in it. It's one that seems to be part of the process that's happening today. Okay, let's stick this guy in, because then we can call this card done. Nice, inexpensive stamp that gives you lots of wow, lots of different ways to use it. This is just one of them. And I'm sure that we'll see some other fabulous ideas coming through with this stamp set. And when I say with this stamp set, I'm talking about both of them, the Inked Floret and the Inked Floret and the Inked Floret, and I believe it's Exciting Times, our other one. Yeah, Exciting Times. And then it's always nice to have a little bit of bling. Pretty card today. Hope you're all having a lovely week, and I will catch up with you next time. Alrighty. Don't forget to hit subscribe. If you'd like to join my team, you can hit the join my team button. Lots of different options for you in the blurb that goes along with this. All right, it was great to see you all. I will catch up with you later.